Hello and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. It is getting a little late now today, so there's a good chance that during this video I'm going to have to take a little intermission to close the blinds and turn on a light, because these recordings do not work all that well whenever whenever the light gets weird. So I'll have to hope that that doesn't happen. But today we're drawing Cable, and we're continuing the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 mural. So yeah, this is I think what, the 14th one that we've done. So we're nearly getting there with the base roster anyways, bring on the shoulder pads, even though this design of the character doesn't have shoulder pads. Okay, so as you can see, I've added a lot more base sketches since last time. There's quite a few that we've got this time. But yeah, I think, God knows, I think I'm up to like 30 or something, 30 characters in total, including ones that I finished. 30 on the page, which means we've done about nearly about half of them in terms of what's on the page. But yes, may as well start turning stuff off because we only need Cable. Now yeah, we've got characters which are in front of Cable as well, but those will come later. Characters like Marrow and Iceman. But yeah, sounds on, there she is. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mentioned this last time, but I've been having an issue with my encoder, where sometimes it gets overloaded. It basically just drops frames, so I need to open my reference. But yeah, sometimes it drops frames, and that causes a lot of issues. So I don't want, and yeah, that causes the recording to freeze for a second. The audio is still fine, but just I suppose if that happens, that's the reason. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I really hope it doesn't happen, because yeah, it is enough of a pain in the ass to edit these videos as is. Don't need the addition of frame drops and stuff like that added to the mix. So, and as you can see, it takes a minute now to save this, because we're nearly up to a gig in terms of file size. We're at 700 megabytes. And up to about 2 gigs, that's whenever Photoshop just starts barely working on it. So yeah, and we don't have all the characters yet. We don't have all the base sketches laid in, so I can't get a good estimate yet. I have to open up my reference because I forgot to do that before. And because it's starting to get dark, as soon as Chrome opens, you're going to start seeing, boom, all the white light on my face. But yeah, I don't know where this design of Cable came from. I think this might have been original, because I've never seen this design before, to be honest. I've never seen him look like this in any comics or anything. Because at the time, I thought, if I remember correctly, he would have looked an awful lot. He would have mostly just been the kind of normal Rob Liefeld one, of where he was very, very, very inordinately broad. And yeah. I'm pretty certain this doesn't seem like he has actual pupils in any of these drawings, or in any of the Vegas stuff. It doesn't look like he has pupils. It looks like he's got his sparkly eye there on the right, and then he's got just a white eye on the left. I can't tell. It doesn't look like he has pupils, but I'm pretty certain his sprite has eyes, or has pupils. Yeah, look, he's got one pupil, it seems. It's very hard to see, because yeah, it is very small. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I'm just going to keep that eye white. It would make sense to me to do so. Yeah, as I say, this design, I'm reading bits here, it seems as though it came from some of the imagery at least, some of the things he does comes from Ian Churchill's art, potentially. But yeah, this particular design of Cable is very new to me anyways. I say new, I've seen this like art of him from Bengus for years and years and years, so technically it's not really new to me, but I have seen it before. But yeah. Yeah, you know, I think I might just get into it. I think I'll just start. I might have to actually start on his hand rather than his face, because and I'll have to start on the gun just simply because such is the nature of things. But yeah, I'll be using a lighter blue on Cable than I did on Cyclops. I'll be using something which is skewed more grey and also skewed a little lighter just on the spectrum as a whole. But yeah, let's get onto this. And yeah, I'm definitely going to need to start turning on lights soon enough, I think. Because just, it feels like my face is too dark whenever I'm not back here. I obviously want you to be able to hear me, so that's the thing. But yeah. Now, we're half an hour in, I've only done the face. But yeah, we're getting to that point now. I think we're going to need to start turning on lights. We're nearly there. My encoding is really fighting me now today. I don't know, this footage might be a bit crap. Because every time that the encoder gets overloaded, it loses a few frames. That happens more, I think, later in the day. I think it's because the camera has to fight harder to keep the light. So what I might do is I might just pause very quickly here, and I have a few bits to say anyways, so I'll be back in a second. You know, I can't say it's the most startling improvement in terms of visual quality, because now I'm mostly just illuminated by blue. Well, the background is at least illuminated by yellow, so looks interesting at the very least. It's a nice lighting setup, regardless. But yeah, I had a few things I wanted to mention. So, we've done his face and we've done his head. I changed his mouth. His mouth is originally just a little grimace, but I changed it to be that he's kind of got a little bit like a kind of look on his face. It's mostly to go with this hand, because I felt like him having his hand out like that doesn't really, Jesus, having his hand like that doesn't really fit with like a kind of like a expression. It needs to be a bit more like a kind of a little bit more of a grimace, a little bit something, or not even more of a grimace, but more of kind of like a dynamic facial expression. But yeah, another fun little detail for those of you at home who do this type of thing, who do some drawings. A good way to make a character look like they know how to use a gun is to have them practice trigger discipline. I've almost certainly mentioned this before. Trigger discipline is simply whenever you have your hand or your finger off the trigger, whenever you're not going to shoot. Because in real soldiers and people who are trained with guns practice trigger discipline. They're supposed to, at least. You should not have your finger on the trigger at all times, because if a gun is not a perfect thing, you can accidentally pull the trigger and then bam, you've shot the gun. You can give away position, X, Y, and Z, all this stuff, where you can shoot yourself in the foot. So generally speaking, it's wiser for people who are trained with guns to show them knowing how to use one, i.e. practicing trigger discipline. And so that is an easy way to just make a character look like they know what they're doing when they're holding a gun. But yeah, that's just a fun little detail. And yeah, I did his little eye sparkle. But yeah, I've made Cable very big, very muscular, and much more so than Cyclops, obviously, because Cable should be more muscular than Cyclops. Cyclops is buff, but he's not a monster quite like Cable is. And yeah. Yeah. See, I wonder sometimes, does it look weird the way that I do the lines on the head, generally quite thin, but then I do a lot of the rest of the lines on the body quite thick. Like even the hands I tend to have thicker lines on. But the head and the face, generally quite thin lines. Generally the reason I do that is because facial features aren't as pronounced from a distance as major body features, like muscle. Muscle is on the chest is much more pronounced than, say, like a fine line on your forehead would be. And obviously if a character is older and then you progress that up and up and up, the lines on the face become much more pronounced as you go along. So Cable, see, in Bengus's art, Cable doesn't actually look that old, it's just that he's got white hair. And I'm kind of hanging around that of where I decided to make him look a little older than he does in the game. I pronounced his cheekbones and that a lot more than Bengus does. But yeah, I don't want him to look too old, I don't want him to look too young. So this is the thing, it's kind of like, I don't know. I think Cable is supposed to be like around his 50s or something like that, I don't know. But based on how he often looks, I assume he's around his 50s. Because that would be what makes sense to me anyways. Based on his appearance. But yeah, I'll just carry on in the sped up mode. So, yeah. Wouldn't be a Rob Liefeld character without all these bloody pouches and everything on it. Already an hour in and not even finished this. Jesus. See, this is the part that's gonna take so long. It's just all of these pouches and everything, all these little bits and pieces on him. Because I mean, the dots aren't gonna take that long. They never take that long these days, mercifully. And then the colours probably won't take that long after that. It's just this bit. Just all these little bits and pieces and all this different stuff that he's just got on him. It just adds to the time and results in these videos. In a video like this, which I was kind of having my fingers crossed would be quick, but I don't know what got that idea into my mind. But yeah, just hoping that these will be quick, because again, I don't like having to close the blinds or anything like that during these. It's always a bit of a pain. Yeah, I prefer not to do it, because yeah, it just makes it easier in terms of editing and stuff like that if the visual quality remains the same throughout. And yeah, I've done my best to stop what I'm doing anytime the encoder screws up, so that I could just cut those bits out in post, in theory. But yeah, it is a bit of a pain that this stuff keeps just kind of screwing up. But yeah, I'll try and speed myself along a little bit here. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so that is the details done only. We're an hour and 15 minutes in already. I was nearly done Ruby Heart by this time in that video. Something tells me this is going to be a long one. But yeah, you can see all those little bloody lines add up over time. And yeah, I mean, it's one thing, I suppose, drawing clothes, because with drawing clothes you have to basically add lines to sell those. But with all of this stuff, it's a case where they have all these lines in it by nature. All the pouches and little belts and things like that. And his little leg belts, which Cyclops has as well. I don't know what those are. I don't know what those leg belts are. But anyways, yeah, this is going to take a while, which is something that I wasn't initially thinking of, but here we are. My back is getting tired. Oh, yep, my back is getting tired. Yeah, I don't anticipate this taking another hour, but it could, which would leave this at about 10 o'clock by the time we're finished, which would have meant that I would have had to close the blinds and turn on the light anyways. But yeah. This is the bed we made for ourselves. Now we gotta sleep in it. So I'll do our dots, and then I'll come back in to talk about the colours. Okay, and that is the dots. So, yeah, all these little lines and little crevices around the design are really emphasizing the time that this is going to take to make. Yeah, in terms of a lot of the colors we can steal from elsewhere, his yellow is going to be basically identical. Cyclops is yellow. I don't anticipate it being too dramatically different. His blue is going to be basically the same. Well, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be skewed in a certain other direction. It'll make it a little bit grayer, a little bit kind of lighter, because that's how it is on the sprite. But yeah, the yellow is borderline exactly the same. So yeah, that I won't have to change too much. A silver I'll have to make. But yeah, the skin tone I can probably even steal from Cyclops as well, maybe make it a slight bit paler. Yeah, most of this I can kind of steal. Yeah, makes my life easier anyways. But yeah, so I've already got everything set up, so I need to turn on the background. And I need to turn on Cyclops, so I need to rob from him a few times. Look how much taller Cable is. But this is the thing, yeah, Cable is just a bigger dude than a lot of the other characters. Like, he's even bigger than than Captain America, and that's just because Cable is a big character and everything. He's just really tall and really buff, so that's the kind of thing I'm trying to get across here. And we're an hour and a half in, maybe about 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's kind of what I anticipate in terms of time. Makes sense for a total recording. I wonder if my estimate would be correct. We'll see, I suppose. But yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so that is his colors done. I can turn off Cyclops now, I don't need him. But I suppose I may as well just show you the comparison of the slightly different colors. The yellow comes out a little different actually, bizarrely, even though it's the same color, which is funny. But yeah, now it is time for the shading. And because Cable's blue is too similar to the background color, I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to leave it on the white, for now at least. I'll probably turn it onto the blue just for a second, just so you can see how it stands out after we do the shading. But yeah. Yeah, it is, this is a long one. We're already about 2 hours in, so yeah, this is going to be a longer one than the last few have been. Most of these have been fairly quick, all things considered, but yeah, Cable, because he's got 1,000,000,001 pouches, adds a little bit in terms of time. Adds quite a bit, as a matter of fact. So where is the... So the darks are on the right, okay. Okay, I will get into it now. Now, we are nearly done. Just the light line and that's it. Yeah, I mean, technically, you know what? I'll throw on the background again and see how he's stacking up now. There, he's standing out sufficiently now that we have the background on. And this will help with putting on the light line because, you know, the light line is white. So, make it a little easier to see what we're doing once we have the light line on. Or once we have the white, or the background on. I can make this small again. Yeah, this is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. We're already 2 hours and 15 minutes. By the time we're done, might be even 2 hours and 20. That was my guess. That's funny. Now, Cable is complete, and we are, as I said, as I predicted, we are 2 hours and 20 minutes in. It's kind of surprising how close that was to my actual prediction. But yeah, I don't think I'll screw around too much here by rambling on about nothing. You'll be able to see just how colossal this page is now, in context. So we may as well zoom in a touch and bring in the other characters, the other completed characters. Where's Hulk? Getting harder to find these characters now because there's so many other ones on there. But yeah, we still have an awful lot of X-Men characters to do. We'll be doing them for a while. Yeah, throw in the Capcom characters as well. Oh, I missed a Venom somehow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not right. It should be 7. Where's Zangief? There he is. Just barely fitting in the frame now, which means that, and that's at 16.7%. We're gonna have to start zooming out much further in order to see the whole thing. We can turn off the background now. Yeah. So what? That's number 14, which means we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Number 14. So that is our whole thing done. Well, I say our whole thing. That is Cable done. So next time, who will it be? It will be Hayato, I think. Yeah, it should be Hayato. Or no, next time it'll be Son, I think. Yeah, next time should be Son. So I suppose you can look forward to that. That one will at least be a quick one. Yeah, you've probably seen me accidentally leave Sanson on screen about 40 times now at this point, so yeah, you'll finally get to see that one get finished. But yeah, I suppose it's time for me to wrap up. I'll just do my quick little outro. So if you liked the video, do what you normally do, no pressure. Subscribe if you want, same deal. If you would like to subscribe, go for it. If you're not going to do it, you're never going to do it. So no point in trying to pressure you. But yeah, and if you decide to watch the next video, I'll see you next time. And there it is. That's the outro. I got through it nice and quick this time. But yeah, I suppose I'll just have to say goodbye now. So bye bye.